Before we get things started, I am trying to hit 100 subscribers before the end of December. So if you see the video, you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, so something that's been a hot debate in the past 2 or 3 years regarding the WNBA and the NBA has been the outrageous salary gap between the WNBA and the NBA. I personally, I don't have much knowledge on it. Like, just me looking from it from a person with basic business knowledge. The WNBA doesn't make nearly as much as the NBA. The NBA kind of sponsors the WNBA because actually the WNBA is losing money every single year. So they're already getting money from the NBA, and they're asking for, like, at least a closer gap for the NBA salary. But a WNBA player got on the podcast like a week or so ago and said, we're not really looking for the same pay. We're just looking for the same percentage. Like, say the NBA, they get paid 20% of the revenue that they bring in. While on the other end, the WNBA, they only get paid 5% of the revenue they bring in. So I'm going to watch this video today called WNBA Stars Have Officially Lost Touch with Reality. That doesn't sound too positive for the WNBA players, but I'm always open to hearing different people's perspectives. So let's jump into it.
Like, one player that makes maybe $12 million on an NBA team could cover the whole WNBA salary.
It pisses me off because I don't think there's anyone in America that supports the WNBA more than NBA players.
I feel like
That's
I
facts.
end up making a video like this at least once every 6 months, and as a result, a decent amount of my audience gets a little frustrated and a little pissed off. So I just want to open up this video by saying that this is not coming from a place of sexism or anything like that. I'm just naturally...
Now, if you have to say before your video starts, is it coming? That's like somebody said, I'm not racist, but, whoa, back up. There's no need for that but. You just, whatever you're about to say is completely racist, and whatever he's about to say is completely sexist. Because no way you should start your video with that. All right.
very fascinated with business, and even furthermore, the business of basketball, because I am in the business of basketball. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow.
A Pat McAfee jersey is hilarious. Hey, fuck it up. 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 Like, fuck it up. Like, fuck it up. Mike.
Gentlemen, I'm sure we all have this issue. You decide to go out with some friends, but you want to take your wallet with you.
Oh, is this an ad?
Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Unless I get an ad, no ads will be played on this channel.
Like, this is an age-old debate. We've heard it all the time throughout the history of the WNBA and the NBA. And it's the fact that every once in a while you'll see a WNBA star be a little disgruntled about the fact that they aren't paid very, very much. And usually the top argument is, why on earth are the top players in the WNBA like Skylar Diggins-Smith, Elena Deladon, Natasha Howard,
Elena Deladon.
around
I loved
the
her.
ballpark of $200,000 a year, whereas when you take a look at a player like LeBron
He's
James,
40 million.
or Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry, they're getting paid in the
50
upwards
million
of
is crazy.
$50 million. I mean, Russell
50 million is a
Westbrook
nasty number.
coming off of the bench this year, not necessarily the player he once was, and he's making significantly more money than one of the top players in the WNBA. I mean, there's not really a comparison here. The veteran minimum in the NBA is something like $1.3 million, and the top paid player in the WNBA is about $230,000. This has been debated over time, the amount of money that women are getting paid in the WNBA, and it's just not fair. And I can understand when you're just looking at it from a very black and white perspective why you would feel that way, because in an ideal world I would love to see a WNBA where the women are thriving despite playing 36 games the entire year. So part of you might be
What?
thinking, like, this
This is completely out of left field. Where is this even coming from? Why are you bringing this up? What does this even have to do with the NBA?
And then honestly, they only play 36 games, and not many of those games are televised. So they're not even getting money from like places like TNT or ESPN or ABC, anything like that, because their games aren't really televised. So if you look at the WNBA, out of their 36 games, only 25 are being televised. Now that may seem like, oh, the 36, 20, that's not a lot. That's like, okay, so like take it from, let's just look at it from the NBA. The NBA plays 82 regular season games. Out of those 82 regular season games, 100 regular games are televised. And then, you have your playoff games, which I don't even think they're counted into the 100 televised games. These are just regular season games. So 25 into 36 compared to 82 into 100, that's a big difference. Like the NBA, their games are being televised more than the games that they actually play, while the WNBA, their games are televised less than the games that they actually play. Now, I'm not saying I'm just stating the obvious. I'm just stating the obvious. I'm not saying this is the reason they should be getting paid less. I'm just stating the obvious that a lot of their games are not televised. That's it.
A couple days ago, I was just innocently scrolling on Instagram. As I was scrolling on
Is he gonna pull up the video?
obviously one of the pages I follow, because I mainly follow sources, was ESPN. Now,
Oh,
ESPN
no,
posted
never mind.
a pretty interesting podcast clip.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Kelsey
Okay.
Plum, one of the
Yeah.
players in the WNBA.
Oh, is he gonna show it?
Photo of this was, we're not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking
Get
to get
paid
paid
the same percentage
of revenue shared. So let's listen to what Kelsey.
Oh yeah, play the video.
Asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So
He
that's
kinda
a huge
cute.
misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
sure.
because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this
No,
person gets
yeah.
paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the
Okay.
percentage of revenue, like for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay, I don't get a dime.
You don't get
That's
any money from
that's ridiculous. That's crazy. She don't get paid for any jersey sales. Do WNBA players get shoe deals? Because that's a big thing. I know they're in magazines, so do they get paid for their magazine appearances? Do they get paid for their photo shoots, or do they just get paid solely for playing the game of basketball? Because if that is the case, that is messed up. Ain't no LeBron. I know damn well LeBron getting paid for his jersey sales. I know damn well LeBron got a shoe deal. I know damn well LeBron don't show up to a photo shoot without getting a bag. So it's like, if this is true, if they're not getting paid for anything outside of basketball, that is messed up. And then I'm just double checking everything to make sure I'm not spewing out BS. I don't know if this is correct or not. I don't know if the percentile is correct, but I just Googled, do NBA players get paid for jersey sales? Yes, they do. According to sportsstackexchange.com, players receive around 45% of all jersey sale.
jersey sales?
That's great. In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players, right? So jersey sales, obviously their TV contracts. You see these every year. These contracts get bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah, massive.
But that's because their CBA it negotiates where if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well.
Got it.
In the WNBA, that's not the case.
We're not even talking about how much these owners make in the WNBA, because I know they still have to be racking in a lot of money. Like it's a losing corporation, but the owners still get a big slice of that pie. You can't tell me that the owners aren't getting a big chunk of that pie.
So what Kelsey Plum is asking,
And then I want to know what he has to say to this, because what she said was clearly wrong. It's clearly messed up that they don't get paid shared revenue. It's clearly messed up that she doesn't get paid for jersey sales. I want to know what he says to this.
for is significantly different than what players in the past were asking for, like Liz Cambage, for instance. She's saying that she feels entitled to a percentage of the revenue generated by the WNBA when, for example, they sell her jersey. And I can understand why people would think this makes a lot of sense. And ultimately, here's the big issue. And I actually commented this on the post.
Was that not a travel?
I'll admit it was kind of botched. I haven't been sleeping really well. But the top comment from the flight mic is they don't generate revenue, which huge mistake. They
Yeah.
do generate revenue. The WNBA does generate revenue. We did some digging here to give you an idea. The amount of revenue that they generate.
Oh, they actually-
is about
okay, $60 million.
Now, bear in mind, this is from a few.
I thought they were losing money. I was pretty sure they lost money these last couple seasons.
NBA generate, well, it's about $60 million on average.
Hmm.
But here's the problem. With any business, what you're hoping for is to turn
A profit. Okay, so they generate 60 mil, but they don't turn. Okay, I thought so. I thought so.
$60 million on leases for the stadiums, on salaries for the players, on paying the
And 60 million is not that much.
that come with running a business.
So
Whenever
okay, so he said they don't generate revenue. That's a dumb statement to make. But in terms of the brighter scope of things, 60 million is not anything. Like he said, after keeping up with the stadium's maintenance, paying referees, paying the players, paying the coaches, that 60 million is going to go away quick. That's like if I make, let's say I do generate revenue. I make $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month. So with that $1,000 a month, I still have to pay rent. I still have to pay my car note. I still have to pay my car insurance. I still got to buy groceries. And, all these other streaming apps, miscellaneous things. I still have to do all of that. So am I really generating enough revenue for me to go out and get dinner with some people? No. Am I still generating enough revenue to buy the new shoes that's coming out? No. That's not what I'm doing. I'm dealing with what I have to deal with. And in some points, I'm even losing money. So $60 million in that scope, from like the scope I just mentioned, in that scope of $60 million, that's not that much money at all. When you have to take into account how much you have to do with the $60 million.
You literally see this. Never.
Yeah. Oh, never? They've never turned the profit? I thought it was just the past couple of years. Or like the past decade. They've never... And they couldn't... Wow.
Has the league turned a profit?
That's crazy.
Made strides in terms of viewership in recent years.
Yeah, definitely.
Recently landed $75 million in investment money that values the entire operation, the league, and all of its teams.
But they should still... Everything he's saying is correct, but they still should be getting paid for their jerseys.
Is a startup league. Yeah, it's been around for quite some time, and yeah, it's taking some time to catch on with fans. In this instance, man, Kelsey Plum asking for a percentage of the revenue generated from her jersey sales to pay herself as opposed to going towards paying the company, when the NBA is already subsidizing the WNBA, by the way. Like, the NBA is losing money on the WNBA. They're consistently losing money on the WNBA, but they still take the loss because they believe in the long-term future of the WNBA. They also want to give women an opportunity to play basketball. And to be honest, as a result of this, I actually think what Kelsey Plum's asking for is a little selfish. Every single penny needs to go back.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Asking for the money that you deserve is selfish. That's crazy. I don't agree with that. Wow. I don't even know. I'm kind of shocked that he said that. I'm really shocked that he said that. It's not like she's asking for... I'm really shocked that he said that. I can't even piece together what I want to say. I would see if she was asking for, like other players just said, just more money. If they felt like they deserve just more money, not even regarding what they're bringing towards the sport. Like, if she was like, yeah, I understand that we don't get as much revenue, we don't really turn a profit, blah, 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 but I still play these 36 games. I should be getting so and so much more money. But that's not what she said at all. Really, all she really said in that was, I want the money that I get from my jersey sales. I want a share percentage of what we make or what we produce during the regular WNBA season. That's all she said. She didn't say nothing crazy. She wasn't saying anything outlandish. She just wants the money that she deserves. And to say that is selfish, that is crazy. It's like, it's easy talking outside looking in because you really don't know. You don't know, even if it is 36 games, that workout regimen is ridiculous. They work out damn near every day. It's still a physical game, even though it's women. It's still a physical game. They're still playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So it's like, give them the money that they deserve. $230,000 is still a lot of money. Let's not mistake that. I don't believe that she thinks that $230,000 is pennies, but at the same time, she just wants what she deserves. And I believe at the bare minimum, she deserves her jersey sales. But it's selfish, I guess. I guess that's selfish.
Asking for a percentage of the jersey sales when this league honestly should not be existing given how they've been going negative.
But they do. But they do exist. That's the thing. We can't say they honestly they shouldn't, but they do exist. So if they're existing, pay them what they deserve. Now, if the NBA wants to just pull the carpet from under their rug, stop funding them and everything like that, and they actually see like, okay, maybe we should have been okay with what we had. Maybe we did bite off a little more than we could chew. Then okay, but as the NBA is constantly piling money into the WNBA, and all she's asking for is a percentage of jersey sales. Like, I will be on your side if she said anything else, but all she's asking for is a percentage of the jersey sales, my guy. That is it. She can keep her base contract, just give her jersey sales, which I don't feel like is a crazy thing to do. That's not crazy.
I mean, if you compare it to other failed leagues in the past, like my favorite example, compare the WNBA to NFL Europe. Europe was founded in 1989. Their inaugural season was 1991. They kept going for about 16 seasons, and this was the NFL's way to try to get into the European market. Ultimately, when their new commissioner came in, Roger Goodell, he said, this is a stupid idea. We're going to pull the plug on this completely. And they went about their European expansion in a different way. Now they take their best players and they play a few games in Mexico City and in Germany, and usually it turns out really well. And as a result of fans watching good players as opposed to watching mediocre players, it seems like there's more interest in Europe in the NFL. But that was
What does that have to do with?
16 years,
What does that
man.
have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Really, what did that have to do with anything? The NFL folded its development league in Europe after 16 years on Friday, calling the decision a sound business move that will allow for a stronger international focus on regular season games outside of the United States. Okay.
The NFL pulled the plug on that project. The WNBA is technically one commissioner away who doesn't believe in this product to completely pull the plug on the
What?
project.
But that's something completely different. That's still football, but just in Europe. This is a different type of sport. It's still basketball, but women's basketball is completely different from men's basketball. They bring in a completely different audience than men's basketball. They have a bigger influence on the youth, especially on younger women who want to play basketball than people just playing football in Europe. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's like if and then football isn't known in Europe. People don't care about football. They care about football in Europe. So that's like taking what's a sport? What's a popular sport? MLB is pretty popular. That's like taking an MLB team and putting them in Australia. There is no type of market for baseball in Australia. Like there was no type of market for football in Europe. But there is a market for women's basketball in America. So that doesn't make sense. What he just said was a whole bunch of nothing. I don't feel like no commissioner will ever say, okay, we don't see the WNBA as a product. We're going to stop it, because that's just bogus. They have fans still. They still have people who support them. They still have people who look up to them. So they're not going to do that at all, ever. It's never going to happen.
Because I want the WNBA to succeed.
No, you don't. You know, you don't want the WNBA to succeed. Stop it.
Are missing the point. That's part of the sexism. The men's leagues get way more funding, advertising, sponsorships, and support. They get put on the prime channels, etc. And the men's league has existed for decades longer and built up a much larger establishment.
I feel like you just got to give WNBA some time. You just got to give the WNBA some time, because like over the past couple of years, they are growing. It's not like they're stagnant either. It's not like they're stagnant. They're not moving like this. They're kind of moving. They're on an upward slope. So just give them, I swear, just give the WNBA 10 to 15 more years. Please. You got a lot of young women aspiring to be basketball players. It's a video of this high schooler. She's like 16-year-old. She's drop step dunking. If the WNBA wasn't a thing, I guarantee you she wouldn't be doing that. She'd be somewhere playing fucking volleyball. She'd be somewhere playing softball. Like, give these women the opportunity. Give these women the opportunity to do something. Because without the WNBA, that's a whole lot of dreams just ruined at that point. So we gotta give it some more time. We gotta give it some more time. They're on the upward slope.
Essentially, what the WNBA needs to do is shove the the WNBA down the throats of the consumer until they build a fan base. The NBA, like she said, has been around for a while. It didn't immediately catch on. It took some time to build up that established fan base. Another thing that she said that drives me nuts is the idea that the WNBA is supposed to compete with the NBA, but the two leagues are never on at the same time. The WNBA typically goes on
On the off
during
season.
NBA's off season.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
A really hardcore basketball fan would have a means of watching basketball.
That is
The
true.
men's league isn't available. Men's leagues get way more funding, advertising, sponsorships, and support. Sponsorships have nothing to do with it. If a sponsor looks at a brand or a person and says, hey, if I slap my logo on this, it'll do fantastic for my brand and brand recognition, and this is a product we want to be associated with, that's on the sponsors. It's not like the WNBA is refusing sponsors for that reason. They could use all the sponsors they could get right now, considering how they're going negative. They get put on the prime channels. That's because the prime channels want the NBA, because the prime channels know that people will watch the NBA, which results in more advertising dollars.
But I feel like a lot of people will watch the WNBA too
It's all
if it was
It's like me
pushed towards
sitting
us a
here
little bit more.
complaining to you guys about the fact that more people are willing to subscribe to female OnlyFans accounts as opposed to men, and how sexist that is. It's literally the same thing. This lady continues and says it's like going to a new tech company.
I don't think
and
it's the
asking
same
them
thing.
why their stock price isn't beating Apple already, because Apple have already cornered a huge chunk of the market and there's not much room to compete. Without the subsidies of the NBA or some other huge donors, there is no way that a women's league would be able to afford to pay for the stadiums and TV coverage necessary to reach enough people to turn a profit in the world of modern sports. The cost of entry is so prohibitively expensive because the men already drove the prices up. There's so much that this human is saying wrong, like the whole implication that there's a competition between the WNBA and the NBA.
I don't think there's a
despite the fact that
competition.
The NBA is subsidizing the WNBA.
Yeah, I don't.
Bizarre. The
Them
NBA wants
being in
to
competition with them,
see.
yeah, they do.
Chances are a WNBA fan
And
will also
like Draymond said at the beginning, NBA players are they are the biggest advocates for WNBA teams. They are. It's just a lot of people don't find them entertainment. I watch WNBA games. I watch some. I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm just tuned in to every single game that they play, but I do find it interesting. People do get dropped off. There are fun plays. I'm part of my sports journalism team, and I've been covering the women's basketball team this whole season, and I've been having a blast at those games. Those games are fun. Those girls can hoop. Like, when people actually start to realize that these women can hoop, they'll be like, okay, let's tune in a little bit more. Because I feel like there's a stigma that all you're going to get is fast break layups. All you're going to get is shots that are behind the backboard. I don't feel like people actually tune into enough WNBA games to realize how talented these women are. And you get that because you see dummies on the internet saying, oh, I'm so and so, and I can be the WNBA player. No, you can't. You're 17 and you're 5'9". You cannot be the WNBA player, sir. You weigh 150 pounds. They're dogging you. Just because they're women, you think you can beat them? They are dogging you. They are the most skilled women. Just like the men are the most skilled men in the world in regards to basketball, these are the most skilled women in the world regards to basketball. No random slow Joe can just hop on the court and go against them. Now, with all that being said, I do feel like the WNBA needs to make some changes. Shortening the three-point line. 1. Making the basketball smaller. 2. And lowering the rim. 3. Now, if they don't want to swallow their pride and they don't want to do that, I completely understand. Pride is the devil. Pride is the sin. So, hey, let them do them. But I feel like just doing those 3 things so they can have a faster pace, a more athletic pace, so they can shoot at a higher volume. Because although I've been trying to say that they deserve blah, 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 they are not as strong as the men. They are not as fast as the men. They are not as good at shooting as the men. So I can see that being a little less entertaining. So if they could just lower the rim, shorten the three-point line, and make the ball smaller, I feel like that'll bring a lot more attention to them because people want to see highlight plays. People want to see lobs being thrown. People want to see dunks. People want to see people break records. Like, that's what they want to see. That's what they're attracted to. So if they can just do that, I swear to you, the league will be a lot more watchable.
So at the end of the day, I could understand Kelsey Plum's argument here, because getting a portion of her jersey sales would make sense if this league wasn't technically a startup league. If they were turning a profit, I would agree with her wholeheartedly. But at the end of the day, if a woman wants their main career to be in basketball, at least in this era of the WNBA until it pops off, they need to be a little entrepreneurial. I mean, like Liz Cambage, who started in OnlyFans. I'm not saying they all should start OnlyFans, but they should use the exposure that
Okay.
they had in
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Oh, I know that's not the only example you could have brought up. I know that's not the only example. Like, you could have said, okay, whatever. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see all you in the next video. Peace out.